Welcome back to our glorious People's Republic of Rome, or Imperial People's Republic of Rome. When we left off, we started making headway into the Balkans, and we're now within striking distance of Constantinople, as well as in striking distance of the Ottomans themselves. We'd really like to start biting into them. We're pretty close to the Age of Revolutions. We're around 16 years off the Age of Revolutions happening. For now, though, we're going to continue our advance. We've already got enough spy network, so we're going to start fabricating a new claim on the Bulgarians. We're currently building up our spy networks in Serbia and Hungary so we can make claims on them. We do have a very high level spy network on the Mamluks, but we can't go to war with them until 1728, so I'm not sure. Maybe we should create a casus belli right now. It might be a little close when it comes to actually using this casus belli and being in the war, but we'll start fabricating it. Before we continue, let's take a little look at our economy. We're doing okay. We're making around 5,000 ducats a month while losing around 4,000. The main cost that we actually have is in building maintenance. Specifically, a lot of the barracks we have are costing us a lot of money, as well as training fields. That's inevitable though. Our goal is to have a large enough army for us to conquer basically everyone that exists. So downsizing on our barracks isn't really an option. Once we do reform Rome, we might downsize to give us more of an economic buff, but I'm not sure we really need it. Our main sources of income are, of course, the commoners, who are always willing to contribute to the People's Republic, as well as, ironically, the burghers, who are also pretty happy to contribute. We're actually losing quite a bit of burgher tax because of certain privileges we've handed out. It might be worth taking these away now. For example, gaining an extra 10% that we're losing due to the control of monetary policy privilege is probably worth the 5% the 0.05 inflation. If we check, let's say we took our inflation down by that 5 points. That basically loses us around 300 or so ducats from our income. Whereas I'm pretty sure if we increase the amount that burghers pay by 10%, we'd be making a lot more than 300 ducats. And the satisfaction of the burghers is already over 100. So I think we're actually going to revoke that privilege. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to let our stability head up to 0, as usual. And then we'll revoke that privilege. This other one, though, treasury rights, we'll probably keep just because it increases tax efficiency by 10%. We're currently not taxing the clergy because it increases them not being taxed makes them happy and therefore increases our research rate. We're also not taxing the tribes either, mainly because they wouldn't give us much money if we did tax them, literally like less than a ducat. And of course, not being taxed makes them happy, which increases our raw materials output as well as food production. Alrighty, the time has come. We're actually going to declare war on quite a few countries all at once here. We're first going to attack Bulgaria, which should be a pretty easy war, all things considered. Then just after we've declared war on them, we're going to declare war on Serbia. We're doing it this way because this way Georgia is in a personal union with Serbia, but because they're already at war with us due to our war with Bulgaria, they won't be drawn into this separate Serbian war. So we'll be able to actually take their land a little easier. Now, we're quite deep into this war, and we're winning pretty handily. Killed nearly 200,000 of the Bulgarians and their allies. So what we're going to do is we're going to declare war on Hungary with our exploration TB. This will bring in the Ottomans and Burgundy. The reason for doing this is kind of twofold. We want to take land from Hungary, we want to take land from Bulgaria, we want to take land from Ottomans, and more importantly, we want to be able to get through the Ottoman land here in Greece so that we can get in and occupy the Bulgarian territories in southern Greece. In reality, that's more like 4 things instead of 2, but that's what we're going to do. We may even take it a step further and declare war on the Mamluks, but we still have our truce up with them, so unfortunately that's not going to be an option. We've once again arrived at the gates of Constantinople. I think we'll again not really bother with it and focus on taking land elsewhere. Luckily the Ottomans are at war with the Mamluks, so that's providing a suitable distraction for their armies. We're close to being able to full annex the Serbians. We just need to peace out their ally Moldova, and then we could full annex them, or we need to rack up a little more war score. They have nothing to lose because they're going to get annexed. It's doing a lot to stop them accepting annexation. One thing of note is the AI has started to build actually high quality forts now. We're seeing these level 4 forts around. We can't just assault them willy-nilly. We need to be a little more careful. On the plus side, if we take those forts for ourselves, they can be our forts. I am a little scared of the Hungarians. Last time we fought them, they managed to fight us pretty well and deal pretty big casualties, but I'm not really seeing that this time around. Look at this battle here. We're killing thousands of them. Yeah, we killed 60,000 of them and only lost 10,000 on our side. I think we're actually going to do just fine in this war. The Sons of Osman have actually started landing in the Middle East, which is pretty nice for us because it means our Middle Eastern regiments can just clean them up. as if they weren't even here. We've bullied Burgundy to the point where they're willing to make peace. We're not really going to demand much from them. We just want them to end their alliance with Hungary. Maybe we should get them to end their alliance with Poland as well. I think we'll do that. We'll take some money from them. 2,000 gold, sounds good. Pretty close to the point where we can full annex Serbia. We just need the Moldovans to peace out, and they're very close. Slight fluctuation in the numbers should bring them to the point where they're willing to make peace. Alright, there goes Serbia. They're full annexed, together with their one vassal they have here. Boom. There we go. Nice to see them gone from the map. We've actually started discovering Eastern Siberia. I don't know if we want to make colonies here. Just because, you know, gives me flashbacks to Spain colonizing Siberia in EU4. But I guess if we don't do it, Spain probably will. Damn, so I guess we are going to colonize Eastern Siberia. Just to prevent Spain doing it, or I should say Castile. We've also almost discovered the whole world. We've discovered 73% of the world. The main parts of the world we haven't discovered is in Asia. We know pretty much everything that exists in Americas and Oceania and elsewhere. Papua New Guinea's still hiding from us though, as well as New Zealand. Coalition has decided to strike us from behind. Who's in it this time? We've got Castile, Morocco, France. Is that it? Portugal, and then just a bunch of miscellaneous nobodies. Not even Aragon. I guess Aragon's at war with France for some reason. Oh well. We'll probably just ignore the coalition and then turn around and slap him. I was thinking in this war I would wanted to take Constantinople, but taking it's going to be a little too difficult due to the cost of taking it. And we can't siege it down. I mean, we could. We could siege it down. It's going to take a while though. I was thinking that we could ask them to demolish the fort that's in Constantinople, but it's going to cost 62 war score to do that. That might just be all we do in this war. What, could we grab their lands in Greece as well? Not much. Maybe just these provinces? I think we'll try and do that. We'll try and just grab these little bits of Greece here, and then we'll ask them to demolish the fort in Constantinople, and that'll be it. Not the most amount of land we could take. It'll have to do. There we go. We're going to destroy the fort in Constantinople, and we're also going to take this Greek territory from Bulgaria. There they go. It's them out. Now we can turn around and start focusing on Hungary, and then we'll deal with the coalition after them. We've also got the Ottomans in this war. I'm wondering whether we should try and take something from them. They are just an ally of Hungary. Might be better just to white peace them. If we can, though, I'd like to grab some of the Greek territory they've got. Be nice to bring that under our control. With Hungary, what would we like to take? They do have this big Austrian vassal here. I don't think we want to take land from the Austrian vassal, though. What counts as what is required for Rome? Basically all of Carpathia. I think we'll probably do something like this and just take another bite out of them. We'll have to see how far we can drive down the cost of these territories though by occupying them. Today Paradox announced they're essentially killing the vassal meta. You're not going to be able to release vassals from land you have core as in. It's going to completely change how the Byzantium strategy works, for example, as you won't be able to just release most of your nation to avoid the disasters. But I do think it's necessary. There needs to be some block to vassals, at least in the current version of the game. One thing they should do is make vassals more rebellious. It's kind of weird how vassals can remain disloyal essentially for hundreds of years and never actually attempt to revolt until they hit that 0% loyalty, and even then they're kind of unlikely to revolt. I would definitely like to see vassals more like they were in EU4, where they could be very dangerous if your vassals got out of your control and became rebellious. You would very much have a large fight on your hands. Vassals really didn't hesitate in EU4, most of the time. The ones that were targeting the player, at least. While this war has been going on, we've actually been creating a casus belli on the Mamluks, and I think we're going to declare war on them right now. It might be a little scary too. Oh, well, actually we can't because Catholics are too rebellious. Oh no. How foolish of me. Oh well, let's see if we can't get the rebels down. I was going to say it might be a little scary because we are still in the coalition war, but we haven't actually bothered fighting the coalition at all. We just essentially just ignored them. Alright, time to peace out the Ottomans. We're just going to take their lands in Epirus and Athens itself. Nice to liberate Athens. Also take some money. Maybe we shouldn't take money. Maybe instead we could ask them to end their alliance with Hungary. Are they still allied with Hungary? It doesn't like it. It looks like their alliance with Hungary has ended. Right, then I guess we won't ask them to end their alliance with Hungary. Instead we'll take some money. Money's always good. Now for the Hungarians, we've beat them up quite considerably. Maybe we should just grab all of the land they have in Greece as well. They have a vassal here I'm not sure I want to bother annexing a vassal though. My opinion of vassals a lot of the time is it's better to make them rebellious and then separate piece them. So I kind of play the long game where I just pick away at the main country and to weaken it so the vassal becomes rebellious. I also agitate liberty a lot. Something like this would be perfect, but it's a little too much on the war score front. I think we're just going to take this from Hungary, take their lands in Greece, take this little bit of territory, these 4 or so, 5 provinces. We can't really do anything else. I guess we'll take 11,000 money from them. Sounds good. Now we're going to turn around and deal with the coalition. Even though we're still at war with the coalition, we've actually reached the point where we can now declare war again because we've got our rebelliousness down. So we're just going to jump the Mamluks. You might be like, oh, it's a little too risky, isn't it, while we're still in the coalition? But risk is my middle name. Not really. But where's the capital of the Mamluks? It's here, so we'd like to try and cut it off if we can. There goes the coalition. At this point, I'm not even sure why they bother. We killed 300,000 of them and lost 40,000 men. Oh well. I do think there's kind of an issue. Maybe it's because of the high AI aggressiveness in this current patch. In EU4, for example, coalitions used to not declare war unless they really thought they could win, which made them act like more like defensive alliances at times. Now, what to do with the Mamluks? I'm thinking we could just take his capital. We don't know where he's going to move it though. We'd like him to move it somewhere down here because it would cut off his northern territory, but there's no way we can re-guarantee it, and there's a good chance he'd move his capital up north if we did do that. Instead, I think we're just going to snake along the coast. Getting close, there's just this little bit of land that the Ottomans control that is separating the 2 halves of our nation now. We're close to bringing the 2 Roman republics together. Once that's done, we'll be able to walk from one end of our nation to the other, which is always nice to see. Now we're just going to chill out for a few years. We're pretty close to the age of reformation happening, revolutions even happening. We also have truces with everybody across the board, so it's not like we could attack someone even if we wanted to. We are going to start fabricating a casus belli on the Bulgarians though, because our truce with them ends in 1737. So I think once that truce ends, we'll immediately declare war on them. We'll take Constantinople. That'll probably be our primary goal. Other than that, we're just going to chill out for the next few years, have some peace, something the People's Republic don't often do because kind of crazy and just declare war on everybody all the time. We've also been neglecting our navy a fair bit. Not for any particular reason, it's just every time I think about expanding it, I think about the tedium of doing so. But I think it is time. Let's see. How many locations are there in total in the Mediterranean that we would need to have? Well, let's not go too crazy. Let's focus on getting a maritime presence up around Italy. And also over to the North Africa and down to Egypt. We've done it, we're here. We're in the age of revolutions. Before we do anything else, we'll decide on our focus. As usual, I'm leaning towards administration. We get an extra cabinet seat, always nice. We can get some -10 to stability to separatism, good for keeping down the rebellions. We get some legislative efficiency, which helps with implementing laws, government reforms, privileges, as well as coring, funnily enough. Get a nice -5 to army maintenance. Although this time around, diplomacy is actually quite good. We can get this global empire for an extra 5% tax efficiency. Flexible negotiation, which decreases the war score cost of taking land by 5%. Postal service, which reduces maritime presence costs through maritime presence by 1 and through roads by 2. And some extra maritime advantage, 10%. For the mill ideas, we can get mass batteries for a 10% artillery power. Mass army for 20% more manpower, that would be very nice for us. This coastal patrols for a -5 proximity cost through ports. And this unrelenting advance, which decreases the cost of moving your armies by 0.01. It's actually pretty nice because our empire is quite large now, so moving up and down it takes quite a lot of manpower. In fact, I'm actually not going to pick right now. I'm leaning towards diplomatic, but I'm going to save. We're going to stop here, and I'm going to ask you, the viewers, for your thoughts on embracing the revolution. We can't trigger the revolution straight away as we need the Enlightenment to spawn. We also need to embrace it. It won't be long till it spawns though. Rome is actually the most likely location for its spawn. In fact, all the most likely locations for it to spawn are in our territory. Is there any that aren't in our territory? No, they're all in our territory. So I'd be surprised if it doesn't spawn in our land. I guess we'll see, right? But should we embrace this newfangled revolutionary ideals and turn our back on our more peasant-focused reforms? I'll leave the choice up for you. For now, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.